Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Saturday, April the 1st, 2023. Today I want to do two things. Firstly, I want to look at April, not just today, April the 1st. I want to look at the whole month. I want to see what's going on this month. And I'm going to do this by looking at the chart for when April started, and this will vary from place to place, but I'm going to really focus on the New York chart and see if we can tell anything about that. Then with Donald Trump, he got indicted recently, as I understand it. He made this payment to Stormy Daniels, and I think it was inappropriately labeled or whatever, and anyway, some grand jury in New York or Manhattan has indicted him, and this could be bad for him. Although I think logically it's going to be good for him, because with Donald, doesn't matter what the news is, it's always good because it keeps him relevant. So let's look at April the 1st. So this is a chart for that's Donald's chart. This is April. Yeah, there we go. So this is the chart set for New York when April happened. Today, April the 1st, but around midnight. April the 1st, midnight, New York. And so I take the view that if you look at the chart for when a month starts, that will give you a flavour of the whole month. So in terms of New York is where, Wall Street, stock exchange, all that kind of stuff, and we see Neptune on the IC, and the IC is about people's fixed assets, it's about their sense of security, and with Neptune here, I'm thinking it's a month where people are going to continue to be really uncomfortable about the economic crisis. People are going to be thinking about whether they really can trust the foundations of their security, for example, bank accounts, things like that. So that concern is going to be there, I think, throughout April. We also have the moon making a 90-degree aspect to Uranus. That means more instability. This is in fixed signs. People are going to really feel tense and explosively tense. They're going to want to get something out and they can't, and it's going to be really difficult. And at the same time, people are going to be really stubborn. We're not going to want to compromise for anyone, and this could lead to things breaking rather than bending. So yeah, complete lack of flexibility here. Another aspect I find interesting, and yeah, this is going to be around certainly for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but maybe it's a feature for the whole month. And here we have Venus at 1812 Taurus making an exact 45-degree aspect to Mars at 317 Cancer. Now, from a relationship point of view, this Venus-Mars aspect could create a lot of tension. After all, Venus is a planet of female sexuality, Mars is a planet of male sexuality. You put them in a 45-degree aspect and they just cannot figure it out. They can't relate to each other. They can try. Cancer and Taurus appear to be signs that get on well. Taurus is quite a reliable sign. So is Cancer. So logically it should be fine, but it's not going to be fine. There just is a different approach. So in terms of relationships, consider the possibility that you and someone else are mismatched, temporarily at least. It's just not going to gel. So you need to, if you want to get involved in a relationship, think about what you're doing, because it may be so tense that it might not be worth the effort. Now, on a more global perspective, um, we can look at the midpoint structure of Venus and Mars. Um, and Venus and Mars are not just about individual relationships. Venus and Mars is a planet connected with warfare, anger. Venus perhaps connected with diplomacy, and it's perhaps how countries try to relate to each other. And let's just look at the midpoints for Venus and Mars. I'll make that a bit bigger. So here's Venus and Mars right next to each other, because this is a 45-degree midpoint sort. I won't go into the details, but you can set things up so that Venus and Mars are exactly in the same place. And both these planets are on the Neptune-Hades midpoint. Now, Neptune is a planet of the sea. Hades is a planet of death and destruction and the underworld. So April is a bad time for boat trips. Boat trips, whether it's romantic cruises, whether it's doing stuff of a military nature with boats, perhaps air as well. There could be some shipping disasters in April. Well, it says it could be a shipping disaster today, but if you've got boats, you have to be careful. So, for example, the Russians have got boats in the Black Sea, and they have to watch their boats. They lost the Moskva last year when I think it was a Ukrainian missile. You have to be really careful there with that. So, avoid sea trips today, and look out for disasters involving planes and ships with this, assuming the theory is right, that I really can say something about April just by looking at the chart for the month's beginning. Anyway, I am going to now switch to Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump was indicted a couple of days ago because of this Stormy Daniels thing. So what about the chart for the indictment? I looked on Twitter to look at the earliest tweet announcing his indictment. The earliest I could find was 2:27 p.m. But there's probably something a bit earlier than that. But this is a chart. This is a chart for, Trump's enemies probably really think they've got him on the ropes. This is the beginning of the end for Donald. They're gonna jail him, supposedly. But look at, or whatever else they want to do. They want to discredit him. But the moon is void, of course. The moon has made its last aspect before leaving the sign. And when you've got that situation, it usually suggests that actually nothing much is going to happen, that it's all going to be a damp squib. So I think those thinking that this is going to be the end of Donald, should forget it. This is not going to be a big deal. And of course, many people are saying that Donald is going to take advantage of the situation, because Donald is the kind of person who thrives on news, thrives on publicity, and it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad publicity. And I think this is shown most powerfully in his Indian chart. So I just want to have a quick look at his Indian chart, which let's see if there we go. Okay, here we go. So this is Donald Trump's Vedic chart. Let me show you what I find to be really interesting about it. I mean, it is an interesting chart. Now, in Indian astrology, they divide life into 9 periods ruled by different planets. Now, you'll notice here that the Jupiter period in Trump's life started on November the 14th, 2016. In other words, within days of him becoming president. And so, and that assumes this birth time is exact. So he's in a period of possibly political ascendancy, even though he lost the last presidential election. And we can subdivide this period. Now, right now, he's in his Jupiter-Mercury period. Now, Trump's Mercury is actually quite strong because it's in Gemini in his Indian chart. And if we drill down, let me just show you what I. If we drill down and we look at what precisely was going on, well, hold on, I've got to scroll down here. So he's in his Jupiter. He's in his Jupiter main period, and he's in his Mercury sub period. So I've got to get the hang of this. Bear with me, if you will. Don't. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Yeah, Jupiter, Mercury. His Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter period started on February the 22nd, 2023. And then we can bring that out a bit. Now let's go down. Let me just scroll down to show you what I mean. There we go. Look at this. Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter, Mercury. You've got a double theme. You've got this is his precise period, March 27, 2023. A couple of days before his indictment, lasting a couple of weeks. This is a powerful theme of success and recognition, because there's his Jupiter, and Mercury is in the 10th house from his Jupiter in Gemini, and I know that's a little involved and a bit technical, but it seems to me that this is the time where Donald can really stand out. This indictment has given him what he's needed. It's put him in the spotlight, and I think his fans are going to be very pleased with what's going to happen now. So anyway, I mean, he's got a good chance of being president. I very much again. I think it's extremely unlikely. I've tried to look at this astrologically, but I'm using a different technique, and I really don't think the Democrats are going to win at the end of 2024. So really, Trump's challenge is the primaries. Once he's got through the primaries, he's home and dry. So the question for Trump is there going to be another Republican who can beat him? Unless, of course, he drops dead. But that's so he's got to stay alive. But at the moment, things are looking good for him, and I think that this indictment is really going to work in his favour. Anyway, sorry about that somewhat incoherent spiel, at least when it comes to finding exact dates on my Indian astrology program. But anyway, I hope you found that interesting. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow on Sunday.